she wants what humans have. This is pretty much the embodiment of it, where she mentioned out here we can reliably make lifelong friends. Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to another day where I'm recording with my door open because my housemates aren't here at the moment. Yay! I mean, not yay that they're not here, yay, but I've got circulation of air because it's quiet this morning. Thumbs up. Anyway, though, it's supposed to be searingly hot in the west, especially the northwest where I live, where 39 million people are at risk from serious heat. And Hokey smokes, it's actually going to be pretty pleasant here today. The forecast in the low 70s, because there are some spots, like where I live, where we're getting a reprieve from heat, while the rest of the area is frying. Thumbs up on that. And hey, front loading of videos. If you like what you see in here, if you could toss me a like, that'd be cool. And if you like what you see in here and you haven't subscribed, if you could, that'd be very cool. If you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good. And of course, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These literally beautiful and literally awesome people are literally beautiful and literally awesome. Without their help, I and my pets would be hosed like Christmas monkeys. And trust me, that is no way to be hosed. You don't want that. My thanks to every one of these people who helps me and my pets. And if you would like to become a patron, there are links in the video description. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, there's a link to a PayPal. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money, there's an Amazon wishlist link. Very cool. I also have a post office box where you can send me anything from postcards, keychains, whatever you'd like. Anything. Front loading of videos over. Yay. I did not get much done yesterday. I was still feeling some of the physical after effects of my anxiety attack. I was more tired. I had a larger headache than I will sometimes get. But I did some things. I recorded a video, and that was good. You know, Morrowind. I know there's no great call for my any content online. That's fine. I know I'm never going to be big. That's fine. I do this for my mental health. It is to keep a routine and habit, something that I can hang other things upon and make my life go. And this is routine and habit, and it helps me function up here. Thank you very much for coming along with me on this journey of exploration, each and every one of you that does watch. It is appreciated greatly. Thumbs up for that. Past that, I just went walkies to Walmart and back, 6-mile round trip. Takes about an hour and a half now. I remember when I first started going out on walkies, I mean, especially coming back up into southern Shelton after walking 5-6 miles at a good clip. It was hard at first going up those hills because southern Shelton is hilly. You go from flat in northern Shelton down some hills into flat downtown Shelton, and southern Shelton is just hills and climbing everywhere. There are some streets in the southern Shelton area that are horrific inclines. Even without snow and ice, they are hard to even walk up, and they're just roads. So thumbs up for that. But it used to be really hard, and I'd have to, I was counting my steps because, that was the only way I could be sure that I was actually making any progress up the hills. Now I power walk up the hills without even thinking about it. And that's very, very good. Yay! So I need to stay as healthy as I can with my increasing age. October 26, I turned 60. Good Lord. How did that happen aside from the passage of time, the spinning of our planet around the globe, and the whole space-time curve? Thumbs up for that. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end to every one of our existences. And it isn't too much longer, especially on a cosmic scale, before I release my carefully hoarded resources back out into the world. Thumbs up for that. Yay. Now, let me check out to see what I have down on here. One of the other things, especially with the way the heat is going right now, I've talked a little bit about climate change. I was watching another Beau of the Fifth Column video where he's a guy in Florida, where he's basically a leftist in the middle of Redville, especially with Florida, lunatic conservatives. And he's very left, and he does his YouTube stuff, and he's very connected with communities and such like that, and people all around the world. One of the things he talks about, because he deals with security and threats, is climate change. I did not realize that in Louisiana, every single year for I don't know how long, they have been losing to the oceans and waters and all that, areas the size of Manhattan. They lose that much land every single year to rising waters. Holy smokes. We now have climate refugees in the U.S. There is a tribe that lives on an island. They have fought and lived there for ages. They are being relocated, given free land and development and homes, because the rising waters, their island isn't going to be there much longer. So we have climate change refugees in the USA right now. And remember, when the ice in Greenland melts, which it's going to, even if we stop things right now, climate change is going to continue to the point, because it's something that is slow to stop and slow to start, but once it does, it has momentum. It's going to keep going, and when the ice melts, ocean waters are going to rise by 10 inches. And as he pointed out, that doesn't mean just the coast goes bad, because if there's a spot where it breaks through and this area is lower, it floods out into the rest of the U.S. That's how we lose land. We don't lose just the coastal cities as this stuff happens, because there's lots of the U.S. that ain't above sea level. And that, whoosh. And even if it is above sea level, well, 10 inches might be enough to rise above it. So, oh joy. But on the happy and friendly front, again, I like spiders now. I mean, I've always liked spiders. I thought that they were cool and fascinating and interesting, even when I was deeply terrified of them. And now that I'm not arachnophobic anymore, I still find them fascinating. I was watching something about spiders and rapid eye movement, because when we sleep, we go into a period of rapid eye movement. During rapid eye movement, that's when we dream. We know this happens with other mammals and other creatures. Yeah, I think it's even fish and such like that. This one biologist was recording some spiders, some jumping spiders, and while they were asleep, they went through a period where their little legs did some movement and their eyes did some movement in their little eye sockets. They were going through rapid eye movement sleep. Spiders were dreaming. Hokey smokes. Our connections with everything that is alive on this planet is just astonishing. When we know that now that spiders dream. Now, we don't know what spiders would dream of. You know, it's just, and we don't actually know that it's a dream, but they are going through rapid eye movement, which when every other creature that does that is dreaming. So by inference, yes. But we also know that fruit flies have emotions that we can monitor because we know the portions of their brains where they have them. We can tell when fruit flies feel depressed. Our connections with the world are amazing. It is a very good thing. I mean, we're destroying it all at a record pace, but thumbs up for that. So past that, I've just been doing what I can do. I haven't had a whole lot of time to do some of the things that I want to do, largely just because of everything that's happening in my head. And part of that is just, worrying about whether or not there's going to be more anxiety popping up, worrying about things like my health, worrying about the whole house situation, because we still have a gaping hole in our ceiling in the living room that's pumping out not good air from all of that interior of a house, where what is the word that you put inside the house? Insulation and such is. And sure, insulation isn't exactly dangerous, but it's not exactly good for you either. So, joy? And then there's just worries about my Social Security, worries about my disability, physically for me. There's the state of the United States as we're falling into fascism, because there's 14 signs of fascism. And the Republican Party and Trump has all 14 of them. All the Trumpanzees and the GOP, all 14 of those things that says, you've got fascists here. So joy, I worry about that. I worry about climate change in the world. Yeah, I'm not doing too good with all the pressures up here. So I'm still doing the best I can, and hopefully you are as well. With that, I'm going to talk some more about the creative stuff, because that is my escape from the pressures of the world. Plus, it is pleasurable for me. And yes, I am still planning on, whether or not I ever do it or succeed, but planning on actually writing or speaking out stories in this setting. I'm just trying to get the setting done, and right now with the way my the medical wave of medicines and such that are always affecting me now, I'm still adjusting to the Wellbutrin and those changes. So it's fun, it's exciting. Life is life. But when I take a look down here on such, I had mentioned the other day how there's the character Polly, and how I like the character Polly, but she's one of the more hungry cryptids, where she eats like 4 people a month. And there are dark cryptids that mostly have a requirement to devour human flesh. Because they involve things like, werewolf cryptids, vampire cryptids, other cryptids that are vile and reflect the things that are the worst of us. And so they have to eat X amount of human flesh, X amount of people. Shadowed cryptids also have that, but to a very tiny degree when you compare it. And even when you compare that to light cryptids, the amount of light cryptids that have to eat human flesh to survive is even smaller. But right now, reflecting a change in our fears and our world, the light cryptids have now, there's dark cryptids, there's shadow cryptids, and then there's the light cryptids. The light cryptids do not have to eat human flesh to survive. They just choose to. Even if you're a light, dark, or neutral type of cryptid, human flesh and everything about it, even our hair tastes delicious. Blood, bile, liver juices, all these things are just ambrosia on the cryptid tongue. But most cryptids, it's just you have when I say you, I mean you as a cryptid, there is a sort of genetic imperative that you act within your nature. It does not feel good to even think about devouring a human being. But with Polly's generation, and luckily they're only about 5% of the generation, she's hungry. And it's not affecting her in any negative way to devour human beings. But even at that, even as many as she doesn't eat more. She still has that genetic imperative. She doesn't kill for fun. She doesn't eat for fun. I mean, she eats because she's hungry, and she's hungry for something that she enjoys. But even at that, it's not just let's go willy-nilly. There's times she's hungry, and when she's not, she doesn't. These are all changes to these individuals. And again, they are looking for something. There's all the generations, whether they're hard, hungry like Polly, or just mildly hungry like most of the new light cryptid generation, where they will eat a number of human beings over their lifetime equal to the number that Polly will over a year. So they are still hungry, just nowhere near this hungry. Try to remember where I was going. Yeah. Oh, I love ADHD. Because I remember I'm talking about Polly and her views on stuff, but exactly where the point was because of ADHD is gone. So I'll just continue doing my best on this one. Still, all the physical things that they are collecting and using. Polly, who wears her goth type stuff and the makeup that she wears. Jimmy using his 1950s Jimmy Dean bad boy costuming and his very well maintained motorcycle. These are all physical representations of things that they don't really have concepts for. And Polly, who described it as she wants what humans have. This is pretty much the embodiment of it, where she mentioned out here we can reliably make lifelong friends and keep some of them for decades. And she had her best friend for the first time eaten alive in front of her when she was 12. They want security and stability. The cell phones, the costumes, because it's the clothing that they wear is just costumes, because they're hardy enough that, again, they can sleep naked in a field, wake up covered in snow at minus 20 degrees and just brush the snow off and be fine. They are hardier than we are. They have all of our potential and a little bit more, and it's all shackled and lost because they have become funhouse mirror reflections of all of our best and worst. All of their potential is lost. But even at that, you know, it's all just the costuming, but they want what we have, even if they can't put it fully into words. All these things represent that desire for stability, that desire that when you go to bed, when you fall asleep, when you wake up the next day, it's not drastically different because everyone you know has been violently eaten. When human beings go to bed, we wake up to roughly the same day, and that's rarely true for cryptids. Now, there are not as many cryptids in the world as there are human beings. Even in the fictional town of Brookerton, South Carolina, a port town on the fictional Samadan River, with its population of 1.5 million people and growing, there are not 1 million cryptids. There aren't even 100,000 cryptids that live inside the city, and there's always more cryptids coming in, attracted by the noise and light of city life. There's always cryptids being eaten by other cryptids, which helps keep the population down, but largely it's just there aren't a whole lot of them. As much as our world can't damage them a lot, there are things in our world that can. The cryptid world is still incredibly dangerous, even for cryptids. They just want that stability. They want something that right now they can't have and they can't put into words, and it is just driving them nuts to watch us have this thing that they can't even articulate. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended, and even though I count American Sign Language, well, you've already seen how my brain works. And of course, if you've watched this far, thank you so very much. No one is forcing you, and if you do watch, that's because you choose to, and I appreciate that to no end. I can also speak English periodically, so thumbs up and thank you very much. We have Jesse Koskinen, always good to see you in the comments. Definitely a good thing, and it is good to feel better, thank you. We have the Horror Files, thank you very, very much, and hopefully I will be able to keep it up. We have Cody Cole, thumbs up. Hey, we're all organic in our own ways. Confused Owl 29, I both blame and don't blame the person that was yelling at me. It was busy. They're not trained. I don't know how I came off. If I came off as even halfway quote-unquote aggressive while I was freaking out up here, yeah, if I had been her, I would have done the same thing. So it sucks, but I can't really blame the person. Jay, thumbs up and thank you much. It's good to see you. Stuart Odekirk, thumbs up and thank you very much for the suggestions. And I've been finding stuff in Morrowind that's absolutely amazing, so it's a good thing. Sebastian Ferris, thumbs up and good to see you. We have Eric Vogel, I will do my best. I love the group Typo Negative. I like reacting to things, so hopefully I'll be able to do it soon. VVVNNN, thumbs up and thank you. And then we have Insignificant Nick. That was fun yelling that guy's name. And then we have Adrian _FNTES, thumbs up and thank you very much. We have Ben B, greatly appreciated. There is X, the same son X, thumbs up, thank you much. And yeah, anxiety blows. There is Turfix MX, thumbs up and greatly appreciated. Brandon, well, I've been feeling better, thank you very, very much. And IZ Cobra, so that's what, 11? No, 16 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Thumbs up and thank you. You get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people, if only in text, and if only for a short time. But hey, anything helps, and I appreciate that to no end. Well, it's still Sunday, and tomorrow is a holiday in the United States, so I don't have to worry about even trying to get anything done tomorrow. So I'm going to do my best to just try and feel better today. I'm already feeling pretty positive about stuff, so here's hoping. That would be a good thing. Hopefully you can relax no matter where you are and no matter what your situation, and have just a little bit of you time. Definitely a good thing. And of course, with illness and pandemics out there are raging and killing still, please take appropriate and smart precautions for your area. Oy vey. Oh, you don't need to get sick, you don't need to suffer, you don't need to perish. So, until we meet again, you take care, have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.